Have you ever stopped to think about how much power can be packed into just a few ancient words? Well, today we're going deep. We're exploring one of the most revered chants in all of Hinduism, the Gayatri Mantra. And our guide for this whole thing is a text called Adya Shakti Gayatri Ki Samarth Sadhana, which really breaks down the philosophy and the practice behind this amazing mantra. So let's jump in and see what it's all about.
So, right off the bat, this book frames the Gayatri not just as some prayer you recite, but as a complete system. A system for both spiritual growth and worldly success. It's basically presented as a roadmap to unlocking our full potential. So we're going to follow that map, see what it promises, and figure out how it all supposedly works.
Okay, so let's start with the big question the book itself asks. You've got the Vedas, right? These massive foundational scriptures of Hinduism. To call this one single short mantra their mother, I mean, that's a huge claim. It's basically saying all that sacred wisdom, all of it, starts right here. Let's see how the text backs that.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at why it's called the Supreme Mantra. Then we're going to dissect it, look at its anatomy. After that, we'll explore the path of virtues you gotta walk. Check out the promised gains, both spiritual and worldly, and we'll wrap up with its universal invitation to literally everyone.
Okay, first up, let's tackle its incredible status. Why is it seen as the supreme mantra, the very essence of all wisdom?
The key idea here, the really big concept, is condensation. The author argues that if you could somehow take thousands of pages of Vedic knowledge and boil it all down to its most potent, powerful essence, this mantra is what you'd get. It's presented as the source code for all divine knowledge.
So how does one little mantra hold so much power? Well, according to the text, its power isn't just one-dimensional. It actually has two sides to it, two complementary faces that work together.
And this slide just illustrates that dual power perfectly. On one hand, you've got Gayatri. This is all about the inner journey, the search for spiritual truth, for self-realization. But on the other hand, you have Savitri, which is about mastering the material world, science, success, physical well-being. The book has this great analogy. You need two hands to clap, right? Two wheels for a chariot to move. You need both for a complete, balanced life.
The mantra is also called Tripada Gayatri, which basically means it has 3 feet, or 3 core ideas flowing through it. The first part is about invoking this divine inner light, our own energy and brilliance. The second is a call to action, to make the noble choice to be generous and great. And the third part, it's a prayer to inspire our minds, not just for ourselves, but for the good of everyone.
So this is all great philosophy, but how do you actually live it? That brings us to the really practical side of things, the idea that you have to live the mantra by cultivating some very specific virtues.
The mantra itself is made up of 24 letters. And according to this text, that number is absolutely not random. In fact, it's the very key to understanding how the mantra actually works its magic.
So here's the core idea, and it's pretty wild. The practice of chanting is meant to activate 24 different divine energies, or Shaktis, one for each letter. The book says these are basically dormant power centers, just waiting inside our own bodies. The vibration of each syllable is believed to flip a switch, to awaken a specific ability, turning the whole thing into an act of deep personal transformation.
But, and this is a big but, the text is crystal clear. Just chanting isn't enough. It lays out these 9 core virtues that you have to actively work on. And you can see them here. We're talking about everything from diligence and honesty to cooperation and courage. You can think of this as the ethical framework. It's designed to make sure that the incredible power you're awakening is channeled through a good, refined, and virtuous character.
I love this quote because it just nails the point. These virtues aren't just some nice suggestions. They're called the garland of the mantra. According to the text, to truly feel its power, you have to wear these qualities in your daily life. The mantra and the virtues, you can't have one without the other.
So, let's say you do the work. You do the chanting, you build your character. What happens? What's the payoff? Well, the text is very clear about the results, and they cover both the spiritual and the material world.
And just like the mantra itself, the promised gains are two-sided. The ultimate spiritual goal is moksha. We're talking liberation from suffering, from negative habits, and achieving ultimate freedom. But then on the worldly side, the practice is said to grant siddhis, which means extraordinary abilities, success, and the power to accomplish incredible things in the real world.
And if you're wondering, what does extraordinary abilities even mean? Well, to make it more concrete, the book shares stories like this one about the sage Vishishta.
His power, which he gained through this practice, was said to manifest as a divine cow that could literally produce enough food to feed an entire army. It's a powerful story meant to show how this practice can unlock what seems like limitless potential.
Okay, for our final section, let's talk about who this practice is actually for. And here the text makes a really powerful case for inclusivity, for moving beyond old historical restrictions.
And this is a really, really critical point. The author comes right out and rejects any traditional rules that might have barred women or people from certain castes from this path. The book's position is firm. The spiritual power of the Gayatri is available to every single person who seeks it, period.
And this quote just, wow. It sums up the book's modern, egalitarian message so beautifully. The focus isn't on who you are by birth or by gender, but on cultivating satbuddhi, the right intellect, true wisdom. The author says this universal call for wisdom is the most important spiritual practice for the world we live in today. So, this whole journey through the text leaves us with a question, doesn't it? The book presents this one mantra as a single key to unlock both our inner and our outer worlds. But if we step back, it makes you wonder, in our age of nonstop distraction and noise, what's the real value of committing to any single powerful, focused idea? That's definitely something to think about.